Hello, and welcome to a post-game Periscope after a huge game number 3 win. I am here in Edmonton. This background literally looks fake. It's not. I'm telling you it's not. I'm actually here. This is really cool that this is set up like this. Nonetheless, I'm here because of Vegas Night and Day Heating and Cooling, vkdac.com. But I'll tell you more about them later, and by Kondler Associates CPAs that make all of these possible. But first, let's start with the game itself. What a game. What a brilliant game plan. It starts right there. So in game 2, the Golden Knights did not have the puck enough. They were struggling in the offensive zone to get any sort of possession. They were struggling through the neutral zone because they didn't have any possession, and they're obviously going to struggle in the defensive zone because they didn't have any possession because they struggled through the neutral zone. It all goes in line, right? That's how hockey works. This is not the most difficult sport in the world. However, that was the issue. That was the problem. We come into this game, understanding, all right, that's the issue. How do we find more offensive zone time? The plan for the Golden Knights was multiple different things. Number one was they wanted to get the puck out of their own zone quicker, snap it up, get out, and get players out of the zone and into the neutral zone so that when they got to the neutral zone, they could flip the puck in and then go get on the forecheck and actually get there a few different times. Last game, forecheck basically did not get there the entire way. Today, at the very beginning of the game, it was kind of headed again in that direction. Now, Edmonton tried to counter back with a little bit of these stretch passes, and a couple of different times they were able to get it. But the bigger part of it was when the Golden Knights were able to get all the players in, they were starting to have a little bit more success pinning them against the wall deep in the zone, making these battles come to life underneath the goal line where they really dominated and won the game. To me, it's underneath the red line. Yes, I'm well aware that the puck needs to cross the red line inside of the goal for it to count and be worth anything. But even when it was crossing the red line, when it wasn't going in the goal, that was also a time where the Golden Knights were absolutely tremendous. And we'll talk to why we got to this, why they did not give up more penalty time. I didn't allow that up there. Chris says that it helps only give 2 minutes and 47 seconds of penalty time. But to me, that's the way the Golden Knights play. The Golden Knights play a style. They are not going to take a lot of penalties if they're playing the type of game that they want to play, doing the types of things that they actually want to do. And today, they were able to do it. It's the biggest part of it to me is once the puck was getting in deep, once it was getting down there, the first forechecker was there fairly quickly. And the second forechecker is the one that really, to me, changed the style of a game. Yes, I completely agree. It does look like a green screen. Yeah, that good game by Jack, too. I clicked the wrong button. It does look like a green screen. I don't know. How do you prove that it's not a green screen? I'm actually here. I hope someone skates across the ice or something. It's wild that this came out really cool. Quickly, no news on Laurent Brossoit. We do not have anything new. Obviously, he did not return to the bench. Quick did dress and was the backup. I saw Quick walking out today. Not that means anything. I guess I just saw him, so I'm not sure why I said that. Nonetheless, it's just proving I'm here, right? Way to go, Ken. There was not anything new on him. It looks very bad. I think you're looking at Aiden Hill probably for good here. Yes, this in theory does open up the possibility that Thompson could potentially fill into the slot that Hill was in. We'll get to that another time. However, when that second forechecker was getting engaged with the play, able to pin them up against the boards, one of two things was happening. One of them, awesome. One of them, a disaster. We'll start with the awesome one. When that was happening, the puck was coming back down under the goal line. So instead of it going up the boards and out, where that is something that we've seen a lot of teams try to do, they try to jam it along the boards, and then Vegas has to put it back in. Or jam it along the boards, it ends up on Pietrangelo or Whitecloud, Theodore, McNabb, Martinez, whoever, Stick, Haig, name all 6 of them. It ends up on their stick. That's not the way that they were trying to defend. They were trying to defend going back underneath, and that's where Vegas really ate them alive, getting that puck deep and then really grinding away in these stick battles, and they were way better. The Golden Knights were the more competitive team. They were the more engaged team. They had their skating legs, which I'm not saying Edmonton did not have their skating legs. That's one thing that we can be very, very happy about this game, is that Edmonton did have their skating legs for a good portion of this, and the Golden Knights still found a way to match them with this style of heavier, more danger or more difficult to play against play deep in the zone. That's what you want to see. So that's the good one. The bad thing is that in that first 10 to 15 minutes, there were a bunch of odd man rushes. They had a couple. The one that they actually score on is not truly an odd man rush, but Fogle ends up beating two guys to the goal. Ryan beats McNabb out wide. It's a situation where Vegas gets a little too far in, and now either the stretch pass is coming through or there's different opportunities that allow them to get out. That was number one. Draisaitl had one hit the post, or maybe it was saved. It's hard to tell on the replay on that play. Either way, that's a chance you can't give up. They gave up a couple of other ones as the game continued to go on. Like that, that's a little dicey because they're probably going to be more ready for this style of game in game three. And if they are still able to hit some of those stretch passes, I wonder if Vegas is going to have to tighten up through the center of the ice, and that potentially might open the boards up to get the puck out a little bit easier. These are the little types of adjustments that we're going to start to see. And today, the Golden Knights had the answers for what they were doing aside from that one piece. There was that situation where they're hitting those quick plays through the middle, or we end up with that third forward coming in, the second defenseman's all the way underneath there, and we end up with problems going out the other way. That's something that has to be corrected. You cannot give up 4 odd man rushes and expect to give up 0 goals in a game. That's why the score was 1. That's why this game, Edmonton only scores 1. They're probably not going to score 1 very often. They don't score 1 very often at all. This Periscope and all Periscopes are brought to you by Kondler & Associates CPAs. Go to KondlerCPA.com, tell them SinBin sent you, and they will hook you up with a free consultation. They are fantastic tax specialists. They will help you with all your tax needs, from easy stuff to harder stuff to confusing stuff like gambling and crypto and all that. Crypto went up a little while back, and it went back down, and gas price is bad. Nonetheless, you should go to Kondler CPAs and tell them that I sent you. Or SinBin. Say SinBin sent you. It makes more sense than if you say Ken sent me, because then they're like, who's Ken? They might know. I don't know. Nonetheless, go there. Bring all your tax needs to them. They will help you. They are fantastic. KondlerCPA.com. KondlerCPA.com. So the next part is defensively, especially when the goalie change happened. I didn't think they were great defensively with Brossoit in there. I thought there were a number of different opportunities. They missed a couple. There were a couple that he made great saves on. I thought Brossoit was good in this game for the moments that he was in there. It looked pretty good. And obviously, 11 minutes or so into the first period, he has to come out. And from that moment on, in a weird way, and this is going to sound very odd because I don't really know that it does us any good moving forward, but in a weird way, the goalie change and the goalie swap and the injury and understanding, I thought, refocused Vegas defensively to what they have to do, which is crowd the middle, keep these shots to the outside, and then clean up the traffic in front. That's what they do when they're at their best. I thought throughout last game and then for the first 10 to 15, however long Brossoit was in the game today, I thought that they were kind of getting a little bit loose in chasing underneath, chasing to the outsides, doing all these different things that are just not exactly what you want to do. It opens up space for McDavid. It opens up space for Draisaitl. And really, as much as we will probably get into Draisaitl getting kind of frustrated as this game went on, he was good. He was cooking at the beginning of that game. And one shot hits the post. One I thought he hit wide. There were a couple of different opportunities. He missed a couple passes that were jumping off his stick just by a little bit. They were in a position to get something done. The second Hill gets in there, all of a sudden, now that focus kind of comes back. And it's something that this team has dealt with over the course of the season. And we know that they're aware with what to do when they're placed in a situation where they have a new goalie in there. Whether you believe in the trust or not, it doesn't really make a difference. The fact of the matter is, everyone knows the second that goalie gets in there, you have to be stellar in front of them. Then the second part of this, which is why this part makes it almost unhelpful at all, except for the fact that it led to the Golden Knights helping to win this game, is when the goalie switch happened, Now, all of a sudden, Edmonton, who's looking to hit these seam passes, hit these chances in tight, make these really nice plays that are breaking down that zone defense, all of a sudden they're saying, no, let's just start throwing shots on goal. And when you do that against Vegas and they're playing that contained system, contained style defensively, you're not going to get much. You're not going to get great opportunities. And they did not. Hill caught a lot of them. Hill swallowed a lot of them. It slowed the game down. It took away some of that transition stuff that they were getting in that first period. And that brings us in to the second period where the game, to me, changed again in a big way in Vegas's favor. And it's the part that, to me, makes them now all of a sudden in control of this series. But first, I will tell you that I am here in Edmonton in this real environment, not in a green screen. I don't know how to prove it. This is a Dr. Pepper from the press box. Shout out to this place for having Dr. Pepper in the press box. Amazing. Nonetheless, I am here because Vegas Night and Day Heating and Cooling sent me here because they have sponsored all of SinBin's travel for this season. Hopefully, I don't have to come back. I will if I have to, but I hope I don't because I hope the Golden Knights win in 5. They can be found at vkdac.com. They have multiple offers for you. The first one is a $50 pre-summer maintenance special. Highly recommend you take advantage of that. They will come to your house, look at your heating and cooling systems, make sure that they are okay. And if they aren't, they have discounts. New stuff's 10% off, old stuff's 5% off. Maybe it's backwards. I can't remember. Go to my tweet and figure it out. Nonetheless, you get a discount if you use them. However, that $50 deal is awesome. Highly, highly recommend you use that. Just tell them that SinBin sent you and you want to do the pre-summer maintenance special. It will be a lifesaver. Literally. Now, hopefully not, but it will definitely make your life a lot better if something's wrong and you find it now instead of in the middle of August when it's 110 degrees and you call everyone and they say, oh, we're busy right now. They are not busy right now. They want to help you out right now. So do that. vkdac.com, Vegas Night and Day Heating and Cooling. The reason I'm here. Back to the second period. So we have the first period. So now we're throwing the puck in deep. We're not taking controlled entries. Unless it's wide open and perfectly there. I tweeted this at one point. Okay, if we can carry it in, Eichel did it a number of different times. There were a couple of opportunities where the puck was able to be brought across. But when the puck is not a clear entry, Vegas is throwing it in, throwing it in, throwing it in. Now, after we get out of the first period with the lead, mind you, which is basically just born out of whipping them underneath the red line. And again, we will see. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. I don't know. Moving forward, hopefully it does. However, just the fact alone that they're sending the puck in over and over and over, and I cannot snap, which is why this is not working. I don't know how to do it. Never been able to do it. Left hand, right hand, can't figure it out. Nonetheless, over and over and over, throwing the puck in deep. Then the second period opens up, and now all of a sudden, they want to go back. They want to take these chances and say, no, we're going to move back. Oh, I know how I can prove it. Watch this. Look, not a green screen. Look, there it is. All right, there we go. That's how I can prove it. Now I have to recenter. Okay. All right. So once they start moving back, now all of a sudden, the Golden Knights are excellent, very, very, very good at getting out into transition and making these opportunities way more dangerous than they were before. Because the Golden Knights, inside the 5-on-5, when they're in the offensive zone, they're much better grinding along the walls, getting it back out to the point, recycling it back down, and then hoping that they can kind of take a puck from the outside of the circle, find some space in, and get it there. They do not do a lot of seam passes. They do not do a lot of tipping the puck in front of the goal. They do not do a lot of spray and pray anymore. So, oh, by the way, yeah, I did not talk to anybody about ice conditions. It was very crowded in the Golden Knights locker room tonight. I will try to do that tomorrow. Hopefully we have more players. I'm going to try and ask about that. It did seem bad, but we'll see. So what they're doing in the offensive zone is kind of being cautious in keeping it to the outside. Once they get in transition, now, once we get these transition chances where we're steaming through the neutral zone, it's 3-on-2, 2-on-2, 3-on-3. Numbers advantage doesn't really matter. The Golden Knights are so dangerous on the rush that if we get in that situation, now Marchessault goes to the goal. Howden goes to the goal. Stevenson went to the goal. Hua flipped that one in that ends up not counting. all of these things are happening with all the opportunities of getting to the goal. And to me, that's all born out of what the work they were able to do in the first period. Now, moving forward, does it actually stay consistently working? We saw some lapses, we saw some issues. This is not a perfect system. Like, this is not what we felt like against Winnipeg, where when it was against Winnipeg, it was like, look, if you get it in deep and you forecheck, they will be giving the puck back to you. They will give you these opportunities. This team, not necessarily. So you have to take advantage of these chances to be consistent in moving it down. To me, it's taking a little bit less of the risk with the blue liners. I don't think they have to be all the way across. To me, it doesn't have to be a true five-man forecheck. You can potentially make it three and go from there. Now, when the puck comes up the wall, you do need to get that guy down. Otherwise, they're going to get easy opportunities to get out. These are the little adjustments that are going to change and decide who ends up winning this series. Right now, though, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens going into game 4, because now the Oilers know they're going to throw it in. They're going to get down there and be hard on us, and we're going to have to move it out quicker, more successfully. If we do, we're going to get going the other way. We're going to have these opportunities, because 3-on-2 coming the other way is a problem. But if they're so focused on going back and getting these opportunities, getting these pucks out, that can potentially stretch the neutral zone. So what do we see at the beginning of game 3 becomes a huge, huge question mark of, can the Golden Knights actually enter the zone? I saw some stats. I retweeted them. The Golden Knights had 50% successful controlled entry today. Oilers were over 60%. That shows you that even though Vegas is not successfully carrying the puck over, half of the time it gets shut down. Half. And most of their opportunities were wide open when they were trying to do it. So that indicates that when they're throwing the puck in, when it's an uncontrolled entry, it was so successful today that it then backed them off. That's basically all of that. How hyped on Poutine am I today? I guess I feel pretty hyped. I like when they win. I love when they win. We won 3 games on the road. It's fun to me. Like, it is fun to see the things that are going right, the things that are going wrong, the things that they correct to then suddenly make them go wrong. So I was excited. I did have donair poutine today. It was delicious. Man, was it delicious. It was a mixed chicken and meat, or beef or lamb, or whatever the hell donair is. I don't know exactly what the meat is. It was so good. I didn't go for the sauce. They laid the sauce on a little thick. I saw the guys in front of me, and I'm like, man, that is a shit ton of sauce. Like, what are we doing here? All right. And then I had donair pizza on accident, because we went to a pizza place, and I'm like, I'll take a cheese pizza. We don't have cheese. All we have is donair, pepperoni. When in Edmonton, go for donair. It was all right. It was fine. It was okay. It was be fine. Is that right? Should be beef in Edmonton? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we can maybe put the donair. I'm shitty at pictures on Twitter with food, or like, not, I guess not Twitter, but I just suck at. I always eat before, and then like the picture is like halfway through, and that's not great. So was my flight better? It was okay. The flights themselves were fine. A little bumpy on the second one trying to get out of Nashville. It was the layover that sucked. The layover was supposed to be 6 hours, and it turned up to it ended up being almost 9, a little short of 9, because there was weather there. Luckily, we're here. Again, I'm actually here. This is real. This place is really cool, by the way. It's very similar to T-Mobile Arena, like in many different ways. However, they have this extra level, and like, I don't know if you can, hard to tell. It's the white level up. So you can kind of see a section of seats, and then there's a white level above there. There's like a white wall. That level is really cool. There's like tables and all these different things. It's really neat. This is a really cool place. And so it's super tall, like Staples Center style tall. The fans to me are about the same. I thought Winnipeg's fans were louder than both here and Vegas, but what gives Vegas the edge, certainly on here, and then without question on Winnipeg, is that the sound system is just so relentless that the crowd seems more and more and more engaged into the game. To me, like, playoff atmospheres are playoff atmospheres. They're awesome. Like, it gets better as we continue to go along. It gets better as each game gets better. It's awesome. So that's really all I got there. I have not had a green onion pancake yet. I'm hoping to get one maybe tomorrow. What are the weather's actually good here. I'm wearing the heated jacket because it's actually kind of cold in here, and bald, and the air conditioning gets a little rough. But what else do we have to talk about? If anybody else has questions, oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Um, you're welcome. I wrote a story about Marcia so scoring, damn, 2 goals. Like, you're welcome. That was all me, 100% me. I'll tell him that tomorrow. I'm the reason that he scored, no doubt about that. Because if he didn't score, then it's clearly my fault. Um, Prediction for Game 4. I think we're finally going to get the close game. I think we're finally going to get the style of game that I think a lot of people thought coming into this series. We're going to get that real, like, back and forth. Both teams have it going their way for different times. I picked it before the series. I thought it's going to go back and forth every way. I think it's Vegas wins all the odd numbered games and Edmonton wins all the even numbered games. Don't kill me now, because that means they lose the next game. But that means they win in 7. And I don't know if you're paying attention to the other one, but Seattle's winning, and the Golden Knights kind of kick the shit out of Seattle historically. So not trying to look ahead. Not doing that yet. I'm not doing that. Is Hill ready to take over? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. How many times have we talked about it this season? The way the Golden Knights play, they just need a goalie in there that doesn't blow it. Just don't be horrible. He was certainly not horrible today. He was actually really friggin' good today. And shout out to Bruce Cassidy, who's having a hell of a series through 3 games. I thought last series wasn't all that difficult. Okay. That series wasn't all that difficult. This series, he's been terrific. Pushing the right buttons, not pushing the buttons, switching the lines up, pulling somebody in or out. The decision to go to a little bit more aggressive penalty kill looked pretty good to me. I think Hill's perfectly ready. Like, I don't think there's a huge gap between Hill and Brossoit. I don't think there's a huge gap between Hill and Thompson, or Thompson and Brossoit. I do think there's a huge gap down to Quick. So the insurance policy that was there of having Hill on the backup, now all of a sudden might not have that. I'm concerned for Brossoit. I don't think we're seeing more Brossoit. I think him laying face down on the ice might be the end of his Golden Knights career, which is disappointing because you gotta like the guy. He's a good dude. He's fun, fun to talk to. He's had a good season for the Golden Knights. He's done his job. So in that respect, that is certainly disappointing. But to me, there's not a lot different between these goalies. They have different styles. Hill's style's a little bit different than Brossoit's. I thought he went back and played the puck a lot, which freaks me out, especially when we're looking at some ice that's not great. And we know that series can change with one bad play of the puck behind the goal. So that scares me a little. But as a whole, like, I'm not that concerned. I do think that instant new goalie bump that I thought we got today that really took that game from 1-1, it ends up being 2-1, to then really Vegas taking off. I thought that was partially them taking some shots that they probably should not have taken. I thought it was a little bit of Vegas being a little bit more compact in their own zone. I talked about that earlier. I don't think you get that moving forward. So we'll see. Who is in net? That's a good question. I don't know. I would guess they go back to Skinner, but Campbell was pretty good tonight. Wasn't bad. Goalie interference is going to be on Thursday this week. Game 4 is on Wednesday. I'm flying. I should make it back. Assuming I make it back in time, we'll do it. If not, I guess we'll probably do it without me. If I'm in the air, then, but yeah, it's going to be on Thursday. For goalie number 3, it's probably going to end up being Patera. I don't know if they will fly him out or not. I would guess they probably will. It almost certainly will not be Thompson. He has to start skating. He hasn't started skating yet. So I would imagine it will be Yuri. Hopefully we don't ever have to find out. I'll be here tomorrow at 1 o'clock. to find out noon Vegas time. So we'll see. I don't expect him to be on the ice tomorrow. I would imagine it'll just be the two, but we'll see. I think Vegas's power play remains not good. One of them, they didn't have Stone, so it looks a little different without him, obviously. It's still not good. So that's concerning. I don't know that, and Cassidy talked about that today, that it's like we like to play this long stretches of 5-on-5 style of game. We get to turn our four lines over. They get a little bit tired trying to double shift guys. That if it can just stay 4-on-4 for extended periods of time, that does benefit the Golden Knights. I completely agree with that. And playing no penalty hockey either way, swallow your whistles, certainly beneficial. I thought they missed a couple calls in favor of Vegas early. I know nobody wants to hear that, but I do. I feel like the high stick was a pretty clear one. I thought the knee on Haig was a little bit of interference, potentially even tripping or kneeing or something, whatever. So I guess you get a little bit of a break there. But overall, there weren't that many penalties. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. I'll talk about why there weren't many penalties. But first, I'll tell you Kondler & Associates CPAs sponsors all of these Periscopes. Go to KondlerCPA.com and tell them SinBin sent you, and they will hook you up with a free consultation. And Vegas Night and Day Heating and Cooling is why I'm here in Edmonton right now. I'm not in Vegas. I'm in Edmonton. This is a real background, I swear. Here's why. Go to VKDAC.com and do the pre-maintenance special. It's awesome. Trust me, I'm doing it. It's going to be great. It's going to, hopefully nothing's wrong with my air conditioner. It's much easier to know. Nothing's wrong. It's great. Something is wrong, and that's going to cost me a lot of money. But that's okay. We'd rather find it now than when it's 110. Why they had no penalties today? It's easy to sit here and say, okay, no penalties. Don't take penalties. You got to be disciplined, right? Whatever that means, discipline. It doesn't mean anything. When you're playing hockey and you're under the cosh, it's a soccer term I like in hockey, especially in this series. When the Oilers are tilting the ice on you, they have it in the offensive zone. They're coming with you at speed. When you're sending the puck out, you're changing and they're bringing it right back in. When all of that's happening, you're gonna grab, you're gonna high stick, you're gonna hook, you're gonna do some of these things, interfere to slow them down. It's going to happen. So to me, it's more about the style of play that the game is in. If the Golden Knights can consistently get the puck in deep and make it difficult to come out, even if it doesn't come out, even if it doesn't mean the Golden Knights are getting a ton of offensive possession, as long as it's difficult to get it out, that's going to lead to much more success and taking many less penalties. That is horrible grammar, but we got through it, and I think you probably understand what I mean by that. Yeah, Draisaitl, to me, got frustrated, stopped moving his feet, kind of quit on the game. That's interesting. That's very interesting that a guy can have 13 goals, 7 games, 8 games, and all of a sudden, one game, it doesn't really go his way, and he becomes a detriment to the team. That's something the Golden Knights have to keep an eye on. Take him away. Slow him down. Make things happen. Make life difficult on him. Make stops on him. And all of a sudden, you might see he might be a little bit of a defensive liability. He was today. He has been in this series. So that's certainly good. Kondler CPA sponsors all of these Periscopes. Kondler, Kondler, CPA.com, and Vegas Night and Day Heating and Cooling, VKDAC.com. Go there. Tell them I sent you. Pre-summer special. It's good stuff. Maintenance special. It's very good stuff. Finally, we'll end on Evander Kane being Evander Kane. So, yeah, to me, Evander Kane has been very unnoticeable in the hockey. That's, I think, bothering him. I think he's not enjoying the fact that it's not going well for him. I think that's also leading to a lot of yapping on the Golden Knights bench at him because they know you can get him going. And today, he did exactly what the Golden Knights want. He takes a stupid penalty. He's running around. He's doing things that are not helping his team. And he's becoming more of a benefit to the Golden Knights than he is to the team that he's actually on. We saw it at different times in the Edmonton series or in the San Jose series. We saw it now. Now, as the series goes on, typically that stuff slows down. typically that stuff kind of fades to the background as we get more information about the two teams playing each other. I think you're going to see less of him doing this dumb shit as we go forward. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Hopefully, we see more of that. That's it for tonight. What a good job by the Golden Knights. What a great game. What a great background this is. Thanks again to our sponsors for making this possible to get me here. Golden Knights are up 2-1. Odd numbered game number 1 was a win. Had a chance to take control of the series. We're unable to do it in game number 2. Odd numbered game number 2, which is game number 3. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. The second odd numbered game, number 3. Golden Knights win. Now they've got another opportunity to take control of this series. Grab the next game. When they've gone up 2-1, the Golden Knights have won 5 of the 6 series that they have played in, that they have gone from 1-1 to 2-1. The one that they didn't win, they should have won. They had to change a rule because that shit still was not a major. God, I hope that guy's not reffing the next game. That's all I got for tonight. Good night, everybody. Golden Knights win. Big game. Big win. Great game. Great game plan. Massive stuff. Stories coming up on the site probably tomorrow because I